The Republican budget plan that passed the House last week makes major cuts to federal spending. Critics say it could leave some vulnerable Americans without help.
If it passes the Senate as written, it could also leave some big holes in the state budget as well. WRAL's Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie is joining us live after spending the day digging through the data to find out how big. Laura.
Lena, North Carolina is what we call a donor state. That is, we give more money to Washington than we get back, but we still get a lot back. We get about $30 billion at least this fiscal year alone, and that makes up a major part of the funding that we use for safety net services here in North Carolina. Cuts to that could leave state budget writers scrambling. Today was Pizza Day at Barwell Road Elementary in southeast Raleigh, where about 2/3 of students are eligible for free meals. Congresswoman Deborah Ross said programs like this would be in jeopardy under the Republican budget plan that passed the U.S. House. It cuts hundreds of millions of dollars from food assistance and other safety net programs.
They're offsetting the tax cuts for the wealthiest Americans by cutting back on food assistance, health care, clean energy programs. And today we are highlighting the real human impacts of that.
It could impact the state budget as well. North Carolina relies on federal funds for a lot of state services. Federal money makes up 75% of state spending on health and human services, about 20% of transportation spending, and about 14% of education spending. Democratic Senator Natalie Murdoch said federal cuts could leave the state in the red.
The public will now learn we're actually overly reliant on federal funding. So when folks think that we have these budget surpluses and we're doing so great, it's because we're actually not using state dollars to provide state services, and we should.
State Republican budget writers did not build in contingency funds for federal cuts. They say they're waiting to see what the final budget deal looks like before taking any action. House Chief Budget Writer Donnie Lambeth said last week, "We'll deal with that once we know what those federal issues are." But Murdoch said the cuts to Medicaid alone could leave the state in a $2.5 billion hole.
Until we have a better feel for federal funding, I don't see how we are really going to truly know what our funding looks like here in North Carolina.
Now, I asked Republican leaders here at the State House and Senate whether they had any comment on this today. They didn't respond to our request. They will return to negotiating the state budget plan next week. Laura Leslie, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.